This morning we're going to dip our toes into shadow work. And so I'll start with a working definition of shadows. Shadows are the parts of ourselves that we don't want others to see. Maybe the parts of ourselves that we ourselves don't want to look at, don't want to recognize are there, don't want to admit are there. There are shadows. We would rather they just kind of exist behind us. Let's leave them unseen in the darkness. And because of this, because of the way that they operate in our lives, they're often, when we choose to look at them, when we choose to engage them, it can be extremely dangerous for us. They're in the darkness for a reason. So today, as we go through these different shadows, and I'll try to give this disclaimer several times, but remember to only do what you are willing to do. Remember to only go as deep as is safe for you in where you are in your life. And remember that the work that we're talking through today, that we're dipping our toes into, is ultimately best done with a deep soul friend. A lot of it is best done with perhaps a professional, perhaps a therapist. We're walking the line. That which is spiritual is how do you connect the divine within everything? And so we're walking the line at times today between the stuff that is best done with a spiritual director, the stuff that is best done with a therapist, and sometimes the stuff that's just best done with a community. There are shadows at 3 different levels. I've just kind of alluded to them, but I'll build them quickly now. So we're going to start with the personal level of shadow work. And the personal level is our interior and our inner life. These are our inner narratives, our stories, our traumas, the things we tell ourselves about ourselves, which some of those are positive and wonderful, but most of those things aren't shadows. Those are the things we like about ourselves, we know about ourselves. Shadows are usually the negative ones, the things that we tell ourselves about ourselves that pause our ability to see ourselves as who we truly are. Then there is the communal shadow level. These are the things that our specific communities don't really want to deal with. They'd rather not see, they'd rather not look at, talk about. These could be institutional failings, these could be communal concerns, these could be institutional struggles. And when we say communities, we're talking about, it could be a family of 3, 4, 5, 6, that could be a community. Or we could be talking about a faith community. But a group of people that we consider ourselves a part of. It could be a volunteer organization. And then there's also the societal level. And at the societal level, these are the things that, oftentimes these are the easiest ones to see. These are the shadows that appear too big to fail. How dare you question them? If we do question them, everything could fall apart. Our entire way of life could crumble. So these are oftentimes the easiest ones to see. But that's also another layer of shadow work. For those of you who are familiar with Richard Rohr, he writes about shadow work, and he says, if we do not discover a prayer practice that invades our unconscious and reveals what is hidden, we will actually change very little in our lifetime. And so that is the importance of shadow work. How do we expose the inner life or the hidden parts of capital R reality? How do we expose them so that we can begin to work with them?